Happy Wednesday, friends. I know I'm a day late, but hey, I'm here and we're going to be learning all about the crown chakra today. So today's is actually going to be kind of short because a lot of it kind of coincides with a lot of the things that I was talking about with the third eye. So I'm just going to introduce some of the new things that kind of comes in with the crown chakra today. So it won't be terribly long, and then soon we'll be able to do we'll do an overview next week, and then we'll talk about some of the other chakras that aren't really talked about a whole lot. Not that they're new or irrelevant, just they're considered minor chakras, and they don't affect the different layers of our bodies quite as much as the 7 main chakras. But we'll get into that at another time. And if I do happen to have anybody on live here today, I do have my chakra cards ready for a free card pull at the end if you stick with me. We will do that today. And then at the end of this video, I also have a really special announcement for something that's coming up that's going to be starting this Friday. So make sure that you are here and that you stay to the end so that you can learn about what I have that's coming for you guys. So I'm really, really excited. I kind of revamped some things that I've been doing, and I'm excited to bring to you my next level of services. All right, so let's get started with just some quick breathing and some sage smoke just to clear out the space, clear out the energies. Let's get into a good headspace for what we are going to learn today. All right, here we go. So I'm just going to take a nice big deep breath in. I'm going to hold and release. I just want to release all the stress and tension that's in my body. I'm sending breath to all the tension in my body. I'm mindfully aiming it there. With my out breath, I am releasing anything that is willing to go. Just getting centered and grounded and breathing. All right, that feels really good. All right, so while I have the sage burning, I'm just going to quickly clear out these cards. So again, if you're here until the end of the video, we'll do a quick card pull and see what kind of message the cards have for you today. All right, beautiful. So as stated, today we were talking about the crown chakra. Now, the Sanskrit word for this is really difficult for me to pronounce. I've been actually practicing it for the last couple of days because it's a really tough one for me. So I think it's Sahasrara. And what that means is 1,000 petals. So the crown chakra is associated with the picture of the lotus flower, which contains about 1,000 petals. So that's kind of where that comes from. I don't know if I can show you, but this is my Reiki or my chakra cloth here. So it shows like all of the different symbols and stuff for each chakra. So as you can see at the top, we have made it to the last major chakra. So as you can see, it's just got lots of petals all the way around it. So that's where that comes from. So the key issues of the crown chakra is inner wisdom and death of the body. Because up until 2012, it was believed that the crown chakra didn't actually open until we passed away. That's kind of like our gateway chakra to send us into the spiritual realm. So it used to be that our crown chakra would not open until death unless we had been doing things to open it ourselves, whether that be through Reiki, crystals, meditation, or all of the above. But now since 2012, what's happened is there's been like a new crystalline grid that has opened into the universe, which raised the frequency of the universe. So that in turn raised the frequency of humanity. So now we are more spiritually open, and this has been going on for the last 8 years. So our life kind of goes through about a 9-year cycle. So we are in year 8 of this cycle of the opening of, I guess, like the universal energy, universal life force. We're very open and susceptible to all of the things that kind of encompass that. So like there are things that we need to be doing to protect ourselves as well. But we're going to get into that probably at a later time. But I just wanted to add that in there about the 2012. There was a literal shift in the energetic grid of the universe that has lifted our own frequencies, which had opened up our crown chakra, which is making us more open to spiritual realms and more spiritual things. So that's kind of why, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I have noticed a big difference in the universe, and that a lot of these things are starting to become much more accepted, such as alternative Reiki healings, energetic healing, spiritual healings, things of that sort. It's kind of becoming more common. And that's because we are now aware of how much that can help our bodies. All of the bodies, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, or mental. There are more bodies than that, but the 4 bodies are the main ones that we want to be talking about for the auric field, especially when it comes to the chakra lessons, just to keep things a little bit on the easier side for you guys, because it's a lot of information. It's a lot of stuff. So I don't want to get into too much of it, and hopefully that's something we can get into at a later date, maybe even as a discussion for anybody that's interested in having that discussion with me. So the physiological system that this chakra coincides with is your central nervous system and the brain. So for the endocrine system, it's the pineal and pituitary glands. So last week we talked a lot about the pituitary because it directly related a lot to the third eye chakra, but it also relates to the crown chakra and the two of them together. Because remember, if they're connected and it creates the bridge from the throat to the third eye, it's going to help you with psychic abilities, whether that be clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentient, etc. All right, and the inner aspect of this chakra is the release of karma. So the more that we can work on this chakra and the more that we can meditate and activate the chakra, the more we're actually clearing out any sort of karmic debts that we may have accumulated, whether it be in this lifetime or a previous lifetime. So that's really, really exciting that just working on the crown chakra can help you with that. Because what happens when you are working with the crown chakra is that it's opening you up to humanity, and we're going to get into that a little bit later in this conversation. But what happens is as we're opening to humanity, we're becoming more service to others and to humanity. So that's going to open up just a universal consciousness for us. And that will help us to release karma. Any bad, negative karma can help us release that. And then it can help us bring in good karma that we are deserving. The physical action, so something that you want to do on a physical level to help you with your crown chakra is meditation. The mental action, so again, when the crown chakra is open, you are going to be tapped into universal consciousness. So the emotional aspect of it is beingness. So just within your own body, being a part of universe, being one of the universe, those kinds of things. And then the spiritual aspect of it is unity through transcendental consciousness. So again, just opening you up to universal consciousness. So universal consciousness is kind of seen as like, we're all connected, we're all one, we are all made of energy, we are all the same energy. And then even for people that have passed on, their consciousness is still alive. We can still gain information from their spiritual consciousness because they have information for us. They have things that they want to tell us. So when we can open up our crown chakra, we can be more open to hearing those things or seeing those things or sensing and or feeling those things. So that's all of the clairs that I was telling you about, the clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentient, etc. Okay, and the color of this chakra is violet. So from my crystal Reiki book, I'm going to read out here just the what happens when the crown chakra is balanced, what happens when it's deficient, and what happens when it's excessive, just like I've done on every other video that we've done here. So just going to read the little description and then I'll read the other parts of it. So sorry if my eyes aren't on you, but I am just reading. The crown chakra is situated at the top of the head. Its color is violet, gold, or white, and it does not represent an element. It is our divine connection to higher consciousness. Christ consciousness, the collective unconscious, or the God, Goddess, Great Spirit, or Source, and the universe as a whole. It supports us in embracing our interconnectedness with all life and our spiritual self. It governs our access to higher guidance, wisdom, soul-level memory, spiritual beliefs, and our higher self. It influences our ability to have faith and the religious or philosophical beliefs we choose to espouse. Related organs and parts of the body are the cerebrum, cerebrum. Sorry, I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. The brain and the central nervous system, the endocrine system, and the pineal gland, the scalp, and the hair. All right, so when the crown chakra is balanced, we are able to see things from a higher perspective, as opposed to remaining stuck within our emotional or compartmentalized versions of reality. We have a higher idealism when it comes to the world and human potential. We have access to archetypal, ancestral, tribal, and higher dimensional knowledge and ideas, and can access the Akashic records and past life memory. We have a sense of or a belief in a higher organizing and creative intelligence, entity, or being, i.e. God, universe, source, etc., and are open to the beliefs and philosophies of others. We are able to keep our own counsel and maintain healthy psychic and energetic boundaries, despite what others may try to compel us to think or believe. We have a strong and loving sense of ethical responsibility and a steadfast moral compass. All right, so when it's deficient, we experience an inability to think for ourselves or trust our own wisdom, beliefs, and convictions. We are easily swayed by the beliefs and the philosophies of others, and will often develop a codependency on authority figures that represent these systems, to the point of embracing a cult or extreme religious dogma. Our spiritual growth feels blocked or is stagnated. There is a marked inability to rise above and see the bigger picture as a whole. There is a resistance to believing in a higher power and an apparent lack of faith. Ethical and moral boundaries are unclear and undeveloped. Physically, we may experience hair growth or hair loss issues and headaches. And then when it's excessive, we feel ungrounded, spaced out, and have trouble managing day-to-day tasks or staying on top of details. There's a general lack of follow-through, a lack of accountability, and the belief that the realm of physical reality is secondary to that of our spiritual and to our spiritual aspirations. We will frequently express our spiritual, moral, and ethical superiority to others and our chosen beliefs and practices to be the only right and true way or path. We seek to impress our belief systems on others and to accept any higher spiritual guidance we receive from the ethers as being true and wise without caution or consideration. Physically, we will often experience headaches, dizziness, or vertigo, and can be prone to developing mental illness. Well, that's just like a little blurb of practically what we're going to be getting into next. So the health issues that are associated with the crown chakra when it is unbalanced, excessive, or deficient, you can really get any of these ailments just depending on what the situation is for you. So headaches is usually like an overburdened mind due to suppression of thoughts or feelings or an obsession. Epilepsy, because it's a miscommunication between the physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies. There's a disconnection there, and the crown can actually help bring all of that back together. Paralysis is a withdrawal of energy from a given area due to deep trauma causing us to deny life. So that can even apply to people with sleep paralysis as well. That seems to be something that's kind of on the rise right now with sleep paralysis. And doing some chakra work can really help with that, especially if that's something that you are suffering from. Parkinson's disease, tremors that may indicate fear from past, future, or the way we move in our physical body. High blood pressure is usually bottling up anger and emotions. And it's also linked to the heart chakra too. So if there's anything going on in the heart and the crown, then it can create a bit of a blood pressure issue. Especially if you're bottling up emotions. It's so unhealthy for you in so many ways. So here's an interesting little tidbit that I read, and I wanted to make sure that I shared with you guys as well. Indian teachings indicate that all of our physical diseases are the result of a separation from the infinite universe. Our auric field and chakras are vital in keeping us healthy. So essentially what they're saying there is that disease in our body is created because of a dis-ease within our physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies. So what their belief is that if you can work through the energetic body and the spiritual body, then that's going to help the physical body. But the problem is sometimes we don't recognize that we need that kind of assistance until the disease is already physically present in our bodies and is now a medical concern. So of course you want to be talking to your doctors, and of course you want to be taking any medication that is necessary to help you with that. But always keep in mind and in the back of your mind that something must have happened emotionally or spiritually to create this disease in your body. So our emotions actually do get stored in our bodies in cells. Like it actually does. So what happens when we're holding on to these emotions that we're not willing to let go of, or that we're not willing to face, that we're not willing to heal, it's going to just create a bad energy within your body, and then it's going to start attacking whatever physical part of your body that emotion got stored within. So try to really be conscious of that, I guess, and just try to be mindful of that. So if you do have something that has come up, and then just try to think about some of the past things that maybe you need to heal that might help ease the disease a little bit faster or easier. And you can always go to any sort of spiritual, emotional healer. They can help, whether that's Reiki, there's pendulum healings, there are oh gosh, there's just so many different things that you can choose, and it's whatever you resonate with the most. So for me, for instance, like I really resonate with Reiki. I do feel much better when I can treat myself with Reiki, or even when I'm performing Reiki for others, because that energy is flowing through me. So therefore it is healing me on some kind of level. So it's very helpful to keep all of that stuff in check so that we don't end up with a real medical emergency. Okay, so emotional issues that can be associated with the crown chakra, again, whether it's blocked, deficient, excessive, really these things can happen in any of those situations. The only time that it may not occur is if we are completely balanced, but being completely balanced in all of our chakras is I'm gonna say is a daily chore, not a chore, but it's something that we consciously need to make a decision of, to make sure that we are protecting ourselves, protecting our energy fields, and just protecting our aura so that we're not absorbing energies that we don't necessarily need, right? So emotional issues that can be associated with the crown chakra is obsessive attachments, closed-mindedness, living in fantasy, isolation and being judgmental. All of that stuff can happen with the crown chakra. So this chakra on an emotional level generates devotion. It's inspirational and prophetic thought, mystical connection, and transcendental ideas when it is in balance. So that's kind of what you're aiming for. So if you do have any sort of obsessive attachments, whether that be an addiction to a person, to say a TV show, say to your phone, all of these obsessive attachments can create an imbalance within your crown chakra. So you want to be aware of that. So if you do have any of those things, then you need to make sure that you're giving yourself a little bit of space. And like I said last week, like quiet time for yourself is really so important for your spiritual and emotional body, just so that it can recollect, so it can reground, so that it can kind of figure out what's going on. And then like the closed-mindedness in the crown chakra, that's just not being open to other possibilities, right? So kind of ask yourself the questions like, am I in a situation right now where I'm choosing to not see a bigger perspective? I'm choosing not to see the other side of the coin, because that can create an issue in your crown chakra. Same with like living in fantasy, isolation, judgments. All of those things can actually affect your crown chakra on an emotional level. So you want to try really hard to be mindful of all of those things. Now, I know that that sounds really difficult, especially the judgmental thing, because it is kind of part of our nature to kind of judge everything that's around us so that we can get a sense on if it's safe or if it's not safe. But if we can just make the decision that all is well and all is good, set the intention that only good things come to me, then you're not going to attract anything that you don't want, right? So you want to be aware and just kind of keep that stuff in the back of your mind as you go through your daily life. Spiritual issues that can be associated with the crown chakra is disconnection. So feeling disconnected with the universe, with the world, with your family, with friends, any sort of disconnection, lack of motivation, and stagnant energy. Those are some of the effects that can happen when your crown chakra is not balanced. And those are the kinds of things that will put your chakra out of balance if you're like all of a sudden having an issue with disconnection or lack of motivation. Those kinds of emotions and things can bring down the energy in the chakras. So this chakra on a spiritual level connects us to humanity. It is here that we can see the larger picture of humanity and the knowing that we are all connected. This chakra is the gateway for pranic energy to enter the physical body. So right here. This fills the body with vitality, giving us energy, making us feel alive, and making us feel vibrant. So that stagnant energy that I mentioned, that could be something, can be an effect of the crown chakra. But the opposite of that is that it's going to make us feel vibrant and alive if we can keep it balanced and be mindful of the other things that can kind of get thrown at us to kind of bring that chakra out of balance, right? And then, okay, perfect. So we're already on to the crystals and things that help with the chakras. So I'm just going to get into that right here. So crystals to activate the crown chakra. First up, we have celestite. I only have a little guy of that, but it's just this beautiful blue stone. Mine actually has a beautiful little flash in it right there. It's so pretty. So this is blue celestite, and this is the stone of heaven, and it can really help you to reduce stress. So if you are in an incredibly stressful situation, or you have to deal with something that's really stressful, that's kind of out of your norm, having a piece of celestite with you can really help you with the stress, especially if you take it into meditation with you and just hold it in your hand. Set the intention that you're using this crystal to help release any stress that is not necessary in your body. Meditate with it, and the crystal is going to absorb all of that energy for you. It's going to take it all away for you, and it's going to help you feel better so that you can handle this stressful situation with a calmer mind, so that you don't allow emotions to take over during this stressful situation. Blue sapphire. We've talked about blue sapphire a lot over the last 7 lessons of the chakras. I still don't have a piece of it because it is expensive. But the blue sapphire is really, really good for connection. So it can activate the higher chakras by calming the physical body, and it can bring wisdom and serenity to you as well. So this is something that you would be using in meditation so that you could activate the higher chakras. So again, this is something that we're going to talk about at a later date, because yes, this is the crown chakra, but there are technically 3 more chakras that are actually above you then as well. So that's where that's how it activates the higher chakras, so that it can bring in that life force energy even more easily into your head. So that's what I mean by bringing wisdom and serenity. So crystals that we can use to calm, I don't have either of these, unfortunately, but charoite, it encourages deep sleep, and it assists energetic disturbances of the brain, such as these resulting from autism and deep emotional problems. So if you or anybody in your life has autism, they do highly recommend that you carry around this stone with you, just because it can help balance out the crown. Let me just grab the picture here so that you can know what it looks like. Here it is. So that's it right there. That's a chariot. Okay. And then next we got the sugarlight. It's excellent for learning difficulties. It is said to reorganize the brain patterns. So it's beneficial in easing the energetic disturbances of epilepsy. So like I had mentioned earlier, with physical ailments that can come with the crown chakra, this is one of the stones that you can use if you do have epilepsy, to kind of help rewire the brain patterns that are sometimes getting disturbed and that might be causing the epilepsy. And of course, like always do what your doctor's medical team is telling you to do. These are just additional things that you can do to maybe help you with your ailments, okay? And then crystals to balance. These ones I do have. So crystals to balance is the clear quartz point. And I do want to read a little bit about that just because they had a really interesting little blurb in my chakra Bible book about it. But here is your clear quartz point. So as you can see, it just comes to a single point. Okay. Now, if you don't have a point, you can use just regular clear quartz as well. But the reason why that they suggest the point is because if you're laying down and you hold it or you have it set up on your crown chakra like this point is actually able to receive energy and information. So when you have it set like this, what's going to happen is that energy and information is coming in through the tip and then it's going into your crown. So it's receiving that universal consciousness that you may have been wanting to connect with, and it'll help balance you out so that it can open you up to that consciousness. All right, so this is a little thing that I read about quartz to protect your higher chakras. I thought this is a really neat little blurb that they made about it, so I wanted to share it with you as well. When working with your higher chakras, it is recommended that you wear a quartz point, so again, a quartz point, as a piece of jewelry, hanging on your chest with the point facing downwards towards the earth. Place it in the position known to some Native American healers as a spiritual grounding point, right at the end of the breastbone between the heart chakra and the solar plexus. So you're going to, if you are wearing it, you're going to want to have it hanging down about here with the point pointing down. Okay, again, this is for protecting your higher chakras. Okay, so doing this will always keep your electromagnetic field or aura perfectly clear. Anything negative coming near you will be repelled by light transmitted through the quartz. Always choose your crystal jewelry intuitively and don't forget to cleanse it every night after you have worn it. So when I get into more discussions about crystals, I'm going to talk to you about the different ways that you can cleanse your crystals. And then, of course, ways to use your crystals. We're going to get into all of that fun stuff too now that the chakra lessons are almost done. And then next we have amethyst. So I don't have an actual piece of amethyst, but for the crown chakra, it is actually recommending that you could use a geode or a point or a stone. Or a cluster, sorry. And I have a cluster. So this is part of a geode. This is my cluster. It's gorgeous. And this one's a really good one to have with you on your crown chakra, especially if you're looking to, sorry, one second. This one's really good for cleansing and purifying. So if you are having an issue with an overactive, like an excessive crown chakra, this one can really help calm that down, just because the energy of the purple too is like very loving. It's a very loving energy and purifying. And then this can also work for your third eye as well. I'm sorry, I thought there was more information about the amethyst here, so I didn't write it down. But amethyst is one of the most commonly known crystals. Usually when people are going out to buy crystals, amethyst is going to be the first one that they pick up, just because it's very accessible. It's fairly inexpensive. And not only that, but people are just so drawn to it because it's just such a purifying and lovely energy. And what it's going to do for your crown chakra is it's just going to help balance it out, especially if there's a lot of excessive energy that's going on in there. And that's the most important part of amethyst in regards to the crown chakra. So next, the essential oils that we can get into to help the crown chakra, again, depending on what it is that you're looking for. There's 4 things that you can choose here. I can only show you one of them because that's all that I have. The other ones are a little bit more, I think, difficult to get your hands on. But if you can, then by all means use it. So up first is ylang ylang. So this is the one that I have. It is from Aura Cassia. ylang ylang. I haven't tried any other brands of ylang ylang. I personally don't love the smell of it. It is something that you need to use like just a little bit of. A little goes a long way when it comes to the ylang ylang, especially because if you do use too much of it, it can actually cause a headache. So you don't want to do that. And you can also mix it in with some of the other essential oils to kind of get the smell of it down a little bit. It's very floral. It's very pungent smell to me. But for the properties and the things that ylang ylang can do, I do add it in a lot of my blends, just because it's so supportive of our endocrine system. It's so supportive of our hormones. I use it in one of my hormone balancing blends. It works great during PMS time. Sorry, TMI, but it does work really well for that just because it's kind of bringing everything back into balance. But I like to mix it with other oils that can help support that as well, because the smell of it alone is not fantastic, honestly. So ylang ylang opens the crown for divine intervention. So on a spiritual level, ylang ylang works very well to help open up the crown chakra to that. Of course, only if your energetic body is prepared for that. So just one thing that I want to quickly mention before I get into the other ones is that if any of these things kind of make you scared, or that you don't want this, like you don't want to have clairvoyance, you don't want to have clairaudience where you hear things, you don't want to have clairsentience where you feel things, you just want to be balanced in a way that is going to be good for your vitality. And that is completely acceptable. So if you are in an energetic place where you're like, that is not something that I want, as long as you set that boundary with the universe, then you're never going to be given anything that you don't want. So if those types of like woo-woo weird things are not something that you want to be a part of, you don't have to be. Just have your energetic system in a place where it doesn't want that, and it won't come. It's just like setting an energetic balance or boundary, right? All right, so up next we have rosewood. So rosewood connects and grounds all of the chakras. So what rosewood can do is, if you do have a couple of the chakras that are excessive in energy and it's really making the wheel spin, and things are feeling kind of crazy, and you're feeling a little bit floaty and out of your body, what this oil is going to do is it's going to help first to ground you, bring you back into your body. But not only that, it's going to help all of the chakras kind of get into the same flow, so that you don't have this chakra going crazy and then this one's not doing anything, and then one of the lower chakras is going crazy. It's going to even out that energy for you. Okay. So linden or lime blossom is next. And what that does is it opens up the channeling circuit between the crown, third eye, and throat. So you have a circuit here. So you got crown, third eye, throat, but then third eye is also back here too. It's connected directly through here. So the circuit is like throat, back of head, crown, third eye. That is the circuit that we're trying to reconnect. It will help with that. Hi, Kalina. And then lotus or water lily. This is one of the hardest essential oils to get your hands on, just because it takes a ton of the flower to be able to create an essential oil. So you may be able to get like a lotus water, like the distilled water that they use from actually making the oil, because that's a lot more accessible. You may be able to find that. If you want to find that, then that's an alternative that you can look for. You can look for a tincture instead of an oil, just because it won't be as expensive. For one, it'll be a little bit easier to find. For two, and for three, you'll still get the benefits of it. Even if it's not an essential oil, you're still going to get the benefits from the flower. So lotus or water lily just helps to open the crown. So if you are balanced, everything feels good, you are wanting to be more connected with universal consciousness, Christ, Buddha consciousness, whatever it is, this will actually open up the crown for you. So it's just something that you need to set an intention to, like, I'm going to use this oil to help open up my crown chakra. Please make me available to receive, and then whatever it is that you want to receive. And again, like that's where you can set the energetic boundary on what you do and what you do want. And then obviously you're going to set the boundary for what you also don't want. So that's it for the essential oils. And then next we just have a few yoga poses that you can do to help you with your crown chakra. Now, the reason that I giggle is because I cannot do any of these yoga poses. But if you're somebody that can do it, great. If not, then just try your best, especially if that is a goal that you have, that you want to balance the crown chakra, you want to be open to consciousness, you want to be open to bigger perspectives of life. You can just do your best, okay? Because I know I wouldn't be able to do these ones. But the first is the headstand. So you start out in that position and then you eventually end up there. Apparently, I wouldn't. I would probably just stay in that position, to be completely honest with you. And then the second is the crane pose. So again, we're starting out about here. That's likely where I would personally stay. And then you got to get yourself up here somehow like that. Honestly, you yogis are amazing that you can even do those things. I'm hoping to get myself into a position where I can actually do those yoga poses. I used to be able to do them about 10 years ago. I need to get back into it so I can do it again. And then last is a shoulder stand. So this is where we're going to start here. And then we eventually want to move into this position. And that is it for the crown chakra. So thank you for joining me on that. We got a question here. Let's see. Got a question not related to what you're talking about. What you're talking about, the oils right now. But can you tell me what the stone your mom gave me? It's the purple heart shape. I couldn't get on. Yeah. So the heart stone that you have, the piece of jewelry that I made, is amethyst. And let's see, I actually got my crystal Bible right here because amethyst did come up for our conversation today. So I'm going to take a look and see if I can find some better information on its properties and what it can help with. All right, so amethyst. So we talked about this a little bit earlier because it does help with the crown chakra. It was for balancing the crown chakra. So I'm going to read a little bit about amethyst because I didn't write down a whole lot about it, and I stumbled on that when we came across it in this video. So I'm going to read you a little bit more about amethyst now that I got the Bible out. All right, so amethyst is considered to be the stone of faithful lovers in St. Valentine. Indeed, St. Valentine reputedly wore an amethyst ring engraved with the image of Cupid. The Greeks believed it to be particularly effective against drunkenness. That's one that I forgot. They used to watch it way back in the day when we had like wonderful warriors that would go all over the place. They would wear amethyst amulets to help them from getting drunk, because actually it can take away the effects of being drunk. So I thought that was really cool. So hence the name amethystos, which means not to be drunk. Wealthier Greeks and later the Romans would make wine goblets out of amethyst to guard against the excessive effects of wine. Legend tells that Amethysta, a beautiful maiden, attracted the unwelcome attention of Bacchus, the god of wine. Diana, the virgin goddess of the hunt, saved the Amethystia by turning her into a gleaming gem, saying henceforth all would have been restrained manner in her presence. Amethyst is also the stone of integrity and was worn by Egyptian soldiers in battle so they would not lose their courage in dangerous situations. In the Christian church, amethyst was the gem of purity and is associated with bishops who traditionally wear an amethyst ring, especially in the Roman Catholic Church. Amethyst is the stone of the Buddha and is popular for Buddhist prayer beads, especially in Tibet. In North Africa, it is a rain-making stone and is dropped into water by medicine man and women. So healing in the environment of the amethyst, often called the all healer, amethyst is one of the most effective crystals for any kind of healing work. It is effective for people, animal, and plants, and can even recharge other crystals with healing powers. It is potent for ailments of both mind and body, especially emotional problems. It is particularly helpful for addictions, including those to alcohol and food. Placed on the stomach or liver, amethyst helps to soothe problems in these areas. If worn when sleeping or kept under the pillow, amethyst prevents insomnia and nightmares. It soothes headaches, and if placed on temples or a point of pain, relieves eye strain and helps to maintain the blood sugar balance. It is excellent for absent healing. An amethyst in the soil of a plant in the workplace will restore energies depleted by noise and overbright artificial lighting. You can set several tiny amethysts in a polluted place or around edges of a photograph of a despoiled or war-torn land. Light a purple candle and leave it to burn through. So uses at work and home. Amethyst soothes anger and impatience and is therefore good to have in the workplace or home in a room where you may have to deal with awkward or truculent visitors. Place amethyst geodes, spheres, or amethyst pyramids around your home and work space and focus on one if you become anxious and potential conflict or feel overwhelmed by difficult tasks you have to finish. If your home or workplace feels unfriendly, or always seems cold and dark, and even in the summer, you may be suffering from streams of dark psychic energy beneath the building. Place amethyst inclusions all over the spot that feels hostile and near doors and windows. You can also put tiny amethysts under a carpet to absorb negative earth powers. Amethysts are naturally protective against technological pollutants, such as a constantly ringing telephone or a jangling fax. They are especially good placed on a computer table to avoid excessive strains on the eyes and mind. And then, like, it goes on so much more about amethyst. Like, amethyst is probably one of the most known stones, and it has some of the best properties. So if you are new to crystals, I would have to say amethyst and quartz needs to be your first stop, because they're just all around really great energy for you. It brings great healing powers and abilities. Amethyst and quartz, like, I can't even. Wow, I wore it one night to bed and slept like a log. Well, yeah, that's the properties of the amethyst working for you, because it really helps people with insomnia. Even if you don't have insomnia, it's still going to help you sleep better and rest fully, because the amethyst can actually help bring you down into a deeper state of relaxation, which is actually going to help you sleep better, right? So always works. But if you don't want to wear it as the necklace, you can always just pop it. What I do with my crystals when I want to sleep with them is I actually pop them in my pillowcase, so I know that they're not going to fall off the bed, and then I know where they are in the morning. They haven't traveled all over the bed. So that's just a little pro tip there for you, I guess. All right, so I did say that I was going to do a free card pull for anybody that made it to the end. So Paulina, if you would like, I will do a card pull for you today. We are using the Chakra Oracle cards just to see what chakra energetically is asking for more help and kind of the situation around it. So if you'd like a card pull, just let me know. If there is anybody else here, if there's anybody else here that wants a card pull, then please feel free to say, me, I would like a card pull, please. And I will do one for you. I just got to get my candle and a couple of things set up, so I'll be right back. Alrighty. All right, Paulina. And after the card pull, I have a really fun announcement for everybody. I'm going to be sprucing some things up here. I'm going to be offering some more services. We're going to get into that. First, let's see. All right, so I'm calling in the guides for Colleen. What message do we have for her today? Is there a chakra that needs some assistance? Yeah, my lives have changed to a little bit later in the day typically, and it's typically still on Tuesdays. I missed yesterday just because I had a grooming client that came to the house. So I've been doing it a little later than usual. But I'm going to try to get back on track for Tuesdays. All right, so I did have a card come out, but I'm just going to see if it can give me another card for some more clarity. All right. All right, so for you, the chakra that you actually need some assistance with is your crown chakra. So that's exciting because you already own amethyst, so keep that amethyst close to you. So amethyst to cleanse your crystal, I don't know if you know about this, but you do need to cleanse your crystal, especially if you wear your piece every day. You're going to want to cleanse it for a couple of hours during the day, or overnight. If you do need it to help you with sleep, then there are some quick cleansing methods that I can show you. But first and foremost is amethyst cannot be put on the window ledge during sunlight. And I know that that's usually one that I frequently recommend for cleansing your crystals, is putting it in the windowsill in daylight. The reason that you don't want to do that with amethyst is because it can actually make the color really fade. And the more that the color fades, then just the less potent it is to assist you. So what you want to do is you can either just put it under your running water and hold it under the running water for about 10 seconds. That will help to clear it out. If you have any sort of sacred smoke thing, so whether you have sage, Palo Santo, or even incense sticks can work as well. And what you'll want to do is you will want to just say this is burning and has smoke going. You just want to essentially like wrap the crystal with the sacred smoke. That will help to cleanse it out. Or you can set it in the window ledge with moonlight, because moonlight will not make the stone, it will not make the stone fade. And not only that, but then it's actually going to charge the stone as well, because cleansing the stone is almost as important as charging the stone. So you don't have to charge the stone daily. Cleansing is an absolute daily, if you're using it daily, but charging, you can even just charge once a week can be helpful. The most powerful time to put it under moonlight to charge it is going to be your full moon. So every full moon that we have, you should be placing all of your crystals on a window ledge or outside, because it's going to charge it. It's going to charge all of them really, really well with some really good energy. So as I said, the crown chakra for you, Colleen, is coming in as what needs a little bit of help. So that's why I kind of went into how to clear and charge your crystal, because that's going to help you with the crown chakra. So I don't know if there's been a lot on your mind recently, or if there's a decision that maybe you have to make. Something has kind of been put onto your table, I'm thinking, and you have something that you need to decide. I don't know what that is, but the card that came out for you, as well as the Crown Chakra is the instinct card. So what this card is basically telling you is just you have to have more faith in your instincts, in your intuition, because we are all intuitive beings. We can all sense things on an energetic level, on what's going to serve us best or what's not going to serve us best. So if there is something that you're trying to decide on right now, then really just follow your gut instincts on it and be open to receiving the messages that maybe are trying to come through for you. Hold on now. I'm going to see if I can sense anything else here. Is it a decision? Yeah, I'm really feeling like it for some reason it's a decision that you might be torn in a couple of different ways, or maybe there are a couple of different solutions to the problem, but you're having trouble deciding which one is going to be the best. Just follow your instincts. Your instincts are there for a reason. It's guiding you. So need to get that crown chakra unblocked so that you can be open to receiving the universal conscious to help you with this decision that you need to make. Maybe it's even deciding on, I don't know, some reason I'm hearing relationship. I'm not sure if there's like a new friendship that's come into your life, or if there's a bit of a conflict with a relationship. If it is a conflict within a relationship, then again, just follow your instinct on what it is that you need to do to help yourself with that. Yeah, that's all I'm getting. So hopefully that makes sense to you, resonates to you. Just as always, just make sure you're listening and following your intuition. And the best way to do that is to have the crown chakra and your third eye well balanced so that you can get the information that you need to get from the universe. Because really everything is kind of mapped out for us. But the beautiful thing about a map is that we get to make turns, i.e. decisions. We get to make these turns and maybe go down different paths than what exactly was laid out for us, because we have that power of decision, right? So not everything is set in stone, but the most powerful thing is just to follow your instincts, follow your intuitions on which turns it is that you're supposed to be making, or which turns that's going to serve you at the best possible way that it can. It's just following your instinct. It's just so important. Like we talk about these gut feelings, or something happens, we're like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have done that, or I knew I shouldn't have let this person do XYZ, or I knew this was a bad idea. That was your intuition talking to you. So really make sure that you're listening to it, okay? All right, so thank you so much for joining me on this chakra lesson today. I'm glad I was able to keep it a little bit shorter than usual. I don't know how long I am. But the announcement that I wanted to make about the services is we are going to start doing the card pulls again. So I know I've kind of gotten away from this a little bit over the last few months, but I'm bringing it back. I've kind of revamped the offers. So there's going to be more options than just a 3-card pull, or a 3-card pull plus a crystal card and an angel card. I have like quite a few different things that we can do, and it's going to be every Friday for like as long as I can. There will always be an announcement if for some reason I can't make it. But I'm going to offer this every Friday. And to really get us going and to get us started, I'm going to run a bit of a contest that's going to run through this week until the end of next week. And basically what it is I want you to be sharing this page with people. I want you to be inviting your friends. If there's anybody on your list that you think might enjoy or benefit from anything that is on this page, or that any service that I have to offer, bring them in here, okay? And then I'm going to create a little post, and I'm going to put it in the announcement section. I think I can do announcement section on business page. I have to check that. But I'm going to put a post up, and if there are people that you have added to the page, I want you to tag them in that comment, because then it's going to be an entry for you and for them. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw for a piece of jewelry. Okay, so we're going to draw for this beautiful chakra pendant. This pendant has all of the stones that resonate with each chakra, and it's filled with Reiki energy as well. So it's going to help a bit of a natural cleansing, clearing, and healing. So I want to offer that to all of my fans right now, fans and followers, and then hopefully we can get this page built up really, really big, so that I can start offering services to a bigger audience, because I truly believe in this work, and I truly believe that it helps people on a spiritual and emotional level so much that it's going to in turn like really affect the physical body as well. Because if you can fill yourself with this vital energy that just makes you feel so alive, then it's going to benefit the physical body just as much as the emotional and spiritual body. So I just want to get myself out there. I want to get my services out there. I want to start helping people that need it. And I felt like this is probably a really great way to get it started. So every Friday night, we're going to do what's called Fun Friday. I'm going to offer card pulls. There's going to be a few different options for your card pulls. And then I've also added in a little bit of a numerology offering as well, so that you can get a little taste of what numerology is, because I do have some numerology packages that are going to be rolling out soon. And I want you guys to have a numerology experience so that you're not just like, well, what is this numerology stuff? I don't really understand it. But if you can have an experience with it, it'll be easier for you to understand. And then it might actually get you inspired to get a full reading so that you can understand exactly what your life is trying to teach you. So the whole thing about, like the roadmap for our life, numerology can really give us a better insight on the choices that we've made before we came back into the human plane, for the things that we wanted to learn, why we operate the way that we do, what things work really well for us. And then also in a numerology full chart reading, I can also let you know like what numbers you are mostly compatible with. So if you are searching for a partner, I can let you know like what numbers work best for you, which ones to stay away from, which ones are going to be just for pure fun. We can get into all of that stuff too. So I'm really excited to bring these offers to you guys so that it can maybe just help you a little bit, give you a better understanding of who you are and a better understanding of what it is that you actually need right now. Because sometimes we just get so blocked with all of the stuff that's happening around us that we don't truly understand what it is that we are really wanting on a soul and emotional level. We're just too blocked by this material and physical world, right? So if we can try to get ourselves back into a better space, then it's just going to make everything else feel better. So again, I'll put up the post about that. Get your friends in here, get your family in here, anybody that you think would benefit from this, and we'll get that post up and get your entries in for somebody to win this beautiful chakra pendant. Okay, so stay tuned for that announcement. Stay tuned for the event that I'm going to be posting for Friday. Yeah, I think that's it. So if nobody has any questions or anything else going on for them right now, then I am going to head out and going to get some of that behind the scenes work done for y'all. And then we'll probably see you again Friday night. All right. Have a great day, friends. And thank you for being here, whether you're live or on the replay. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye.